this is the first football we've had the pleasure of talking about for quite some time, and it was 70 on the board for the Canes against Bethune-Cookman. So on one hand, it's also sometimes difficult to take from these type of games, but the guys were on the field, they were hitting each other, so there has to be something to be gained from that. So again, 70 and 42 of those in the first half. Your initial thoughts?
Honestly, it was just good to be back on the field. It was good to see operationally what the goal or what the paradigm of this staff, of this organization of Canes football in this iteration is, or is going to be. You know, Mario Cristobal wants to be physical. So, yeah, we ran the ball and we leaned on Bethune-Cookman as we should, you know, and we're really successful in that and really didn't stretch the field vertically at all. And that's okay. You know, we did have, I think the longest throw was that flood route, you know, multi-level, you know, pass route that Van Dyke threw from the left hash. I think it ended up being probably about a 40-yard throw because it was caught at like 15 yards. But, you know, the hypotenuse of the triangle, you know, go over and up and everything. It was a long throw. And then Xavier Restrepo, he caught that and then he turned it up the sideline there. I think that was the longest play from scrimmage. We did have a very long kick return by my guy, K5, Keyshawn Smith, doing really, really great things there. Yeah, it was 52 yards on the catch and run. That was the longest play of the day from scrimmage. But it wasn't like I stopped and I threw it 52 yards down the field. You know what I mean? So I really want to see eventually when we need to or feel like opening up the playbook, what does the vertical pass game look like? Because Rhett Lashley had this synergy with Tyler Van Dyke and he dialed everything up. He was like, hey, I know you can do this. And he dialed up all kinds of great stuff. I just want to see Josh Gaddis be able to do that when we need to. And we definitely did not, you know, but defense was physical. There were still a couple issues on some angles, a couple issues on some tackling, a couple issues with, you know, guys are good, but maybe not the most athletic. There's a couple players, I'm not going to name them because the fan base has been on Twitter just, you know, berating these guys. I'm like, they actually, like, he played, well, no, I'll say it because, it's part of the context. Corey Flagg is not the most fleet of foot, but he played a really strong game. He led this team. He was, you know, calling the signals and things like that. He played really well. But when he's put in space and the thing he needs to do is be athletic and physical to go get somebody, he's not swift foot. He's not. So that's going to be an issue. Now, hopefully you're going to scheme and not put him in those situations. But if somebody misses a tackle and he can still track it back, and, you know, and also there were some errors in coverage. So it wasn't perfect, but every drive but one ended in a touchdown. There was a fumble because the starting center, Ja'Kai Clark, went out. Jonathan Dennis, South Dade Senior High School, went to Oregon, came back, obviously. Like Logan Sagapolu, he's not from South Florida, but, you know, same kind of a thing. Was at Oregon and followed coaches down here. Jonathan Dennis comes in as backup center, but the difference there is Jonathan Dennis is left-handed or snaps left-handed versus right-handed. So it's just a little disconnect there, and that's how the ball got put on the ground. Other than that, every single drive ended in the end zone, other than the final drive, which was just run the ball, you know, just get Ja'Cory Brown on the field and say, hey, you took snaps during a live varsity, you know, football game in college and keep it moving. But, you know, incredibly efficient, did not miss a third down conversion all day long. As I have the stats up in front of me, you know, I like to leave the stats page open. I believe that was 7 for 7 on third downs, 8.5 or almost 9 yards per play from scrimmage, 582 total yards. You know, you get a pick six, you get 3 interceptions, you get 184 yards of kick returns on 3 returns by Keyshawn Smith, showing the kind of explosion that we have not seen in the return game in a long, long time. You know, there was a lot to like. Tyler Van Dyke, the first pass of the day, I think was broken up incomplete towards Will Mallory. Other than that, there were 2 throwaways because of coverage and pressure. Other than that, he hit every throw, so he only had 3 incompletions. 1 was a breakup, 2 were throwaways, and Jake Garcia comes in and goes 8 for 8 and shows really good ability, the ability to move in pocket and around to, create space and things like that. So, it was just it was good to be back. It was good to see lots of friends in the tailgate. It was good to just hang out and everything. It was hot, boy. Woo, that 3:30 kickoff. I forgot that tailgate means like noontime in South Florida heat, and it was hot, boy. But yeah, it was really good. Got a lot of guys game experience, even if there's a couple plays here and there and things. You see guys making plays, guys empowered to make plays, like a Gilbert Frierson who was in and out of the doghouse with Manny Diaz. This coaching staff said, hey, man, go make plays. And that's exactly what he did. James Williams moving all over the place. I know people are probably asked about that. I don't know if it's the star or striker or whatever, but I mean, it's hard to miss a guy who's 6'5", 235 walking down into the box from center field on third downs. So then you have Cam Kinchens, who also had an interception, Avante Williams on the field, and James Williams walking down into the box. So if you want to have him be a spy or anything, so you start to see the different ways that this team is asked to operate and how they're doing things. And it's really great just to be back on the field. Really great to see those kind of things, and hopefully, it'll continue. But those are the small victories, that we can glean from this week's game, and hopefully we just kind of continue to tighten up the operations and continue to move forward.